Okay, good morning. My name is Erica Baum. I'm the Executive Director of the Blackstone Valley Education Foundation. We are recording this morning's event, so feel free to leave your cameras on. There will be a time at the end for any questions that you may have. We do have a small audience with us today, so welcome to Uxbridge High School administrators. Welcome to parents. We also have representatives from both WPI and Lenza Americas. So welcome. For those who may not know about Blackstone Valley Education Foundation, our goal is to basically be the liaison between our 14 member school districts and our business partners, with the goal of preparing students to be successful once they enter the workforce. For some students, that may be immediately following high school graduation, and for others, it may be after some sort of certification program or college. In doing that, we work with our businesses and our schools to develop different programs. Today is an example of that. This project-based learning program started over a year ago. Today, we're going to give our students and our Lenza employees an opportunity to put some closure on this project that started over a year ago. So without further ado, I welcome you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this special episode of Student Shark Tank. Let's meet the sharks. Rebecca Jung. Rebecca has been with Lenza for 5+ years, working as an application engineer on multiple projects, ranging from water filtration systems to intralogistic machines and warehouses that many retail companies like Amazon and Walgreens use. Her experience in multiple fields in mind for business make her a natural choice for a partner in small startups and project groups that would like to take their ideas to the next level. Craig Dahlquist. Craig is an electrical engineer who has held various positions at Lenza, including applications engineer, application engineering supervisor, technical supervisor, and currently senior technical training engineer. With over 35 years of experience in manufacturing and distribution of products, his specialty is helping new businesses get financing from some investors that have confidence in his business savvy. Jared Sarno. Jared is an ambitious quality engineer at Lenza Americas. With his business-focused mindset and mechanical engineering background, he's ramped up quality systems in this ISO 9001 certified environment in just 2 years. And he's used his skills to start his own consultancy on a global scale, offering robust quality measures at low cost to operations. Today, into the tank, we have Contango. It's a startup company focused on CAD design and manufacturing. Joe Costa and Jeremy Oakenquist are seniors at Uxbridge High School. They're both planning on attending Western New England University in the fall to study engineering. When not in school, they enjoy fishing, football, and working on projects. These two high school students have customized a unique case design to help a local business. Let's hear from them now.
We have a presentation that we're going to show during this, and I believe the person running the presentation has it.
No worries, Jeremy. While we are waiting for Jeremy and Joe to start their pitch for our Sharks today, I want to go ahead and let all of our audience members know that there will be a time at the end where if you have any questions for any of our students, you'll have a chance to ask as well. So kind of keep that in mind as you listen today.
Derek, can you see that on your screen? Okay, so we are Contango. I'm Joe.
I'm Jeremy. Our design statement, we were tasked with creating a salesman box to demonstrate a new prototype. We consulted with Pelican to create the best looking and best handling case to create the best first impression for potential new clients.
This is our approved design with Pelican. We have the main machine controller in the center of the cave. The screwdrivers, the Phillips head in T20 are both at the bottom, and the safety key and control modules are on the top. This is our original design prototype. We found that it was in a neat display. The main machine controller is in the center of the place. We found that it was too bulky and too thick. This is our main machine controller in CAD. That is the power module, the safety key. This is the screwdriver. Both T20 and Phillips, both are the same model. That is the alternate machine controller. And for a business model, we're a small startup in Oxford, Massachusetts, specializing in creating showcase case for traveling salesmen. We utilize Pelican cases for the manufacturing of our own designs.
Are you muted? I have no idea. I have a terrible echo, and it is messing me up so badly.
Could you folks hear that? I'm seeing Joe as being muted on my screen. I just wanted to make sure that you could hear everything that we talked about. Yes?
Yes.
Cool.
We are asking for $15,000 in exchange for 15% of our company.
I can't hear anything.
You're muted.
No way. Like, I can't hear anything at all.
All right, you can move over there and share it.
We're having some technical difficulties on our end. They're having issues with volume control and there's echoes and they're trying to get together on one screen here. We're the
No worries.
Sharks and everyone able to hear and understand the students' offer.
Yep, I hear it loud and clear.
I can't hear it.
One more time, please. Joe appears to be. Oh,
Why
it's a
don't
Joe.
we ask our students to go ahead and ask their offer one more time, and then we'll kind of take it from there.
Gentlemen, one more time, please.
We're asking for $15,000 in exchange for 15% of our company. Thank you, Sharks.
Well, great presentation, guys. Craig, why don't you get us started? Craig, why don't you speak up so everyone can hear?
Craig, I think you're
Let's
on.
get this party started. Sorry about that. I had it muted. Okay. Yeah, welcome, Joe and Jeremy, and thanks for joining us today. Just like to say, I do have some questions. I think I'll go first, and just have a few questions on your design. Have you had any sales for this, for your design yet? Or any of your product?
No, we have not yet. It's still in the prototyping stage for in Pelican, but we have all the systems ready to order.
Okay. So I guess what is the actual cost? What would be the cost of your design?
We're sitting at around $225 a case.
Okay. And what do you expect to sell the case for?
Around $225 a case. That
Okay.
was what we recorded for Pelican.
Okay. So in order to, where would be your profit margin here?
We were quoted, we were gonna sell them for $225, but we were quoted closer to about $175 a case.
175. Okay, so there's $50 of profit on every case. That's pretty good. Now you say you haven't had any orders yet. How long do you think it would take? Like, what would it take to get maybe 100 units from an order to my doorstep?
The turnaround with Pelican, they quote us between 6 and 8 weeks per each order because each case is custom made. So it depends on all the constraints that are given to us.
Okay. Okay. I see your, I see the offer of, you know, the 15,000. I guess that's the startup cost that you definitely need. I do have an interest in your company, but I can't see, I think I'm gonna need a little more. You know, obviously you don't have, you haven't really sold anything. You haven't really mass produced it yet. So there still could be some hiccups along the way. I'm gonna make an offer. I'll give you the $15,000. However, I'd like 50% of the company. And also I'd like 10% royalty on the first 150,000. This would get my money back, you know. I like to get my money back. Yeah, that's my offer. $15,000 for 50% stake in your company and 10% of the first 150,000 in orders would come back to me. Okay,
Thank you for your offer.
Thank you for your offer.
you're welcome.
You know what? I'm sorry, but like, I can't sit here. Don't thank him for his offer. That is a ridiculous offer. Okay, Craig, cut these students a break. You know what? I like your case and I think that I can help you. But, you know, before all of that, I have some questions for you too. You know, what's behind this case layout? How did you decide to do it this way?
So we decided that the main machine controller, which is the prototype that we received, needed to be front and center because that is the object that we are selling, along with the alternative machine controller, which we decided that was going to be kind of placed off to the side in the list of importance on what was being sold and where it was going to be presented. Everything else was laid in accordance to where you're going to need it in order to actually sell the case. So the screwdrivers are there, they're easily reachable. You don't have to fumble around too much, along with the safety key and the control modules that go inside the machine controllers. They're laid out so you can easily reach them and not be fumbling around and with the case.
In each case, each part that a customer or salesman could be touching, like the screwdrivers, for instance, are the highest quality ones to give the best impression to any future clients for the company.
Okay. So like you mentioned the screwdrivers, like, I mean, it seems like you have a good marketing strategy here for technical products. Why aren't the screwdrivers branded? You know, maybe that'll reach more customers.
They were branded, and when we were ordering them, we just have not ordered any of them yet.
Okay. Yep. What about the foam material? Why pick this specific foam material over other materials?
The foam is Kaizen foam, and it is specifically made to be modeled and into specific shapes. Along with it provides high impact safety for the stuff inside the case. So if the salesman were to drop it, the materials inside aren't going to get damaged within the fall.
Yeah, that sounds good because, you know, when shipping too, it seems like you guys put a lot of thought into this and have a lot of passion for it. So you know what, like, I want to be your business partner and I'm willing to give you, let's say 75K for only 40% stake in this business. You know, I know a lot about outsourcing and manufacturing these types of custom machinery products. So I think I can help you basically mass produce this product more than what you even expect. So that's my offer for you guys.
Thank you very much for your offer.
Thank you.
Well, I see Rebecca is coming out hot with a little extra capital there, but I still think she might be trying to rob you of a little too much of your business there. So I'd like to implore you to take a listen to myself as well. But first, if I could ask, have you guys already identified any places in your design that you actually would like to make improvements now?
It's hard to do because we don't have a like an actual prototype from Pelican yet, but most likely some of the layout might change, and depending on which company orders and what do we need to do for the customer.
All right, great. So sounds like we're pretty confident in the design as it is, and we'll be able to review prototypes. Can I ask what brought you guys into this industry in the first place? What's your interest here?
We were originally asked by another company to create this case, and we got into it after we made that.
Great. You know, I can see some ambitious young minds. I like to work with young engineers when I get the chance. I can tell you guys know what you're talking about. I'll match Rebecca's capital, the extra up to 75K that she wanted to bring in there, but I will come down to 30%. And I have a great relationship with logistics group in the area. We can get your shipping times down, I think, by 50%. What do you say?
Okay, I think you got a couple better offers, a little too rich for my blood. I think I'm out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? Since Craig's out, because it's ridiculous anyway, Jared made a good point. You know what? I think I'll ask Jared to join me as another offer. You can have 2 sharks for the price of 1. How about we'll go in and offer you, you know, that 75K for, you know, that, again, 40%, but how about I take the 30% instead, Jared, and then you can take the 10? And then you'll have my expertise with manufacturing and Jared with shipping and intralogistics. So it actually works out. You can, you know, either accept our individual offers or both of us. What do you say?
Wow, you do have a couple of good offers there, Joe and Jeremy. I guess it's up to you to make that decision. One of your probably one of the biggest decisions of your life right now. So what do you think?
We'll be right back. So Rebecca and Jared, we will be partnering with both of you and we'll take your double offer.
Fantastic.
That sounds great to me. You won't be disappointed.
I've learned not to argue with Rebecca, so. Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, looking forward to working with you.
Sorry
luck.
about the technical difficulties earlier. I had a wicked bad echo, so it was hard to hear myself.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll get you in touch with our IT team, sort that out, no problem.
Yeah, we'll have our guy contact your guy.
Awesome. So I think that's my cue. With that concludes this thrilling student edition of Shark Tank. I'd like to take this time to introduce 2 students who have really embraced the graphic design program that we have here at Uxbridge High School, and as freshmen, completed both levels of graphic design 1 and 2. Mason Sanford and Samantha Jones are here today as creators of the presentation that you just saw Jeremy and Joe present to the Sharks. This presentation required collaboration, not only with each other as a design team, but with Jeremy and Joe as their clients as well.
And also, Kim Bushy is a Lenza employee, and she's going to have a piece in this portion of our program as well. She's an enthusiastic, detail-oriented graphic designer responsible for the creation of impactful visual communications that build brand identity and customer engagement. She has 15 years of experience in the graphic arts industry and is currently the marketing communications specialist for Lenza Americas. Kim will be utilizing her knowledge and expertise to critique Sam and Mason's presentation, commenting on positive elements and also offering some suggestions. So at this time, Sam, Mason, and Kim, it's kind of like an open forum for all of you. And then Joe and Jeremy, if you want to chime in at all, feel free. This is a learning opportunity for all of you at this point.
Okay, I'll start. Hi, guys. I think you guys did a great job. But before I get into the presentation, I just want to say that I just think it's amazing that you guys have these graphic design classes at your school. When I was in high school, I took pretty much every fine arts class I could, but we never had any opportunity for a graphic arts class. So I kind of had to wait until college to figure out that that was something that I really enjoyed and I had a knack for, and that I wanted to go into. So I think if I had had that opportunity earlier, I probably would have figured out my career path a little bit earlier. So I just think you guys have a great resource, and I'm really glad that you're taking advantage of it. So to jump into the presentation, I think you guys did great. You kept the branding of Contango pretty consistent all throughout with use of color, font, and other design elements. Following brand guidelines or just the standards that you follow to effectively communicate your brand. It's super important when working with clients or even when you work within your own company like I do at Lenza. I think you kept a really cohesive look. The text was pretty concise in most places and the imagery used throughout. That's important too, because that'll help keep people engaged with your presentation. I guess to have a couple bits of constructive criticism, I did notice that there was a slide, I think it was the design statement slide, and it did have a really large paragraph of text. You know, to keep audiences interested, you usually don't want to have a large area of text like that because people just don't want to read it, unfortunately. It's probably a good idea to utilize bullet points to kind of pull out key bits of information. It's a good way to create balance between text and even with imagery that you use, and it can kind of add a little design element to your slide too. On the approved design slide with the Pelican case, that image wasn't really clear. And I totally understand that sometimes you do have to work with what you're provided with. I get things like that too, and sometimes they're really hard to fix. I think on that slide, maybe to help it out a little bit, to actually put a little bit of information on the side, even just in little bullets to kind of call out important parts of that picture. I think for the audience, it would have helped us all maybe understand and see it a little bit better. But yeah, overall, I mean, I guess I think you guys formatted really well. It's always important to pay attention to spelling, grammar, punctuation. I know that doesn't seem like it's part of design, but I think in presentations overall, graphic designers are usually really detail oriented, and it helps keep your clients happy. It helps keep everything look super professional, and just kind of keep an eye out for those little things. And I think that you guys did a really good job with that overall. I guess because I know you did collaborate together and you collaborated with Joe and Jeremy. I wanted to ask you guys, like, how was it working with your quote unquote clients? Did you guys have any challenges that you had to overcome?
I think the hardest part was probably they are a lot older than us, so they have different classes at the same time as us. So it was probably actually communicating with them that we had the issues with.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we did a pretty good job on like getting back and forth with each other.
Good.
Yeah, and us too. We're in the same class, so we're able to, just kind of talk to each other while, while we're in the same class. And also, since we're in the same grade, it's easier for us to kind of get in touch since we have this, a similar schedule. And so it was easier for us to But yeah, like what she said, there was a little bit difficulties there, but overall it went well.
Great. Yeah, I know graphic design overall involves a lot of collaboration. In my career, I've worked with external clients. I've also worked like at Lensa within my company with different internal departments. People will come to you with a request, and you kind of have to figure out, they leave the creativity up to you a lot of the times, but sometimes it is tricky getting all the information you need to actually complete a project. Sometimes people will give you all the content and the tools that you need to put it together. And then other times I've had to chase people down to get what I need to actually do the project. And sometimes too, what you create isn't always exactly, what the client wants. Some have a clear vision of what they want. Some say, hey, you figure it out. So it's a lot of back and forth. Sometimes you do have to go back to the drawing board and take that constructive criticism. And, even if you think what you did is perfect, you do have to make your client happy too. So it is a lot of that back and forth. It could be a little challenging, but overall, I think every project can really turn into a really good learning experience and kind of help you along your way in your career. I guess also too, I wanted to ask what got you guys interested in graphic design?
I started 8th grade year. I took graphic design 1, and I've always liked drawing and all that stuff, and computers always interested me too. So I was like, okay, like drawing on the computers. That was probably, what was that? And I actually really liked it. So then I took it again this year, and I've taken all the video classes, and now I'm going to get into art.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so pretty much same thing. We're only in our freshman year, yet we've had 2 years here at the high school, and we've already gone through, all the digital media classes except for Video 3, which we're going to be taking in 2 years. Because next year, both of us are pretty much focusing on art classes to help us move forward in graphic design. I would say I got into it because, again, I like computers. I work on computers all the time. But also, like, even for me, I've always wanted to know how to do, certain things involving graphic design. So, like, how to create logos and all that. And it's just interesting. It's cool. So pretty much what got me into it.
Yeah, that's great. I know with myself too, I was always interested in art, kind of taking whatever classes I could or being involved in different programs. And I kind of always knew I would have a career in that someday. And it kind of sounds silly too, but I've also always loved like brain teasers and puzzles and things like that that make you think outside the box. I do like to approach a lot of projects that I do like it's a puzzle. It's kind of cool. You have to have all the pieces that you need to put together in such a way where everything fits and it all works. So I do kind of tackle every project like it is a puzzle I have to solve. And to me, that's super satisfying. And also I'm really type A, so I love formatting stuff.
Yeah, I right there with you. Like, I was like, it has to be, if something's off or just, it annoyed me so much. That
Oh yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Well, it was great talking to you guys. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say or pass it along to Floyd.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
great talking to you.
You too.
Excellent. I'm glad that the three of you had that opportunity.
Thanks.
So as I started at the beginning, I said that, this project started well over a year ago. And yep, it started well over a year ago. And then COVID happened, right? So, students were mid-project and the world shut down. So now we're going to kind of, change gears a little bit. And I'm going to introduce Floyd Spencer. He is a globally minded professional with over 21 years in the business and training environment. His last role was as the sales and technical training manager for Lensa Americas, and he currently consults for small and medium-sized businesses, helping them drive innovation, achieve organizational alignment, elevate employee engagement, and achieve long and short-term business objectives. Floyd, I'm trying to find you on my screen. Where are you? There you are. Can you share kind of what happened at this point? The world shut down. Did the case ever get finished? And if so, by whom? And how is it being used now?
Gotcha. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate my chance to be part of the closure as well, because you're right. It started, I think it was November or December of 2019. So it was some time ago. And of course, we didn't expect COVID. Nobody did. So the timeline kind of got messed up a bit. So just a little bit about the project. The idea was we needed these display cases at Lensa built. We had a new product at the time, the i500 Motec, the big one that they brought up, and we needed to mimic a case that we had seen in Germany, but we wanted to put our own spin on it. And we were having a little bit of resource issues at the same time. Also, Mr. Rubin and Mr. Splutok and I were talking about ways that we could bring real life learning opportunities to the high school students. And this came up as an idea to design the case. If Joe and Jeremy and Wesley too, Wesley Wright was part of this. He's not able to be here. I wanted to make sure he got some credit for this. If those guys had not done it, we would have had to assign it to an engineer like Rebecca or Craig or some of the other engineers that we have. And they were all working on other projects. So the idea was to see what these guys could come up with. I brought them, Kim, do you have a picture of the slide that kind of shows the before and after? We can talk a little bit about that as that's being brought up.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know I was going to present it, so I
Well,
will look for it right now.
I don't know who has it. Okay, thank you. So anyway, so the idea was we had a photo of what Germany provided us, and as Lensa Americas, we always want to do better than what was provided to us from Germany. And so my number one goal was to say, look, here's what we need. We need these things to fit in the case. Here are the parts and pieces. And we want it to be better looking than the version that we get from Germany. And that was our goal. I also gave them a pretty good amount of leeway to be creative. I gave them the goal of being better than Germany, and then just being creative, open slate. Mr. Splutok and I were talking about the idea that as a company, because Lensa was operating and really acting as a company in this case, as a company, we may or may not go with their design. So I wanted Mr. Splutok to share with the guys that that is a possibility, that we may not go with their design. Still, that made it more real life, if you will, and perhaps gave them a little bit more encouragement to think outside the box. Some things that they did that I really liked. I don't know if we can pull that. There's
I'm trying to find my. Do you want me to share I found the slide. Do you want me to share it?
Sure. So share that.
Yeah,
So,
it's the one with the two cases. Kim,
I know. I'm just locating it. I think I'm sharing correctly. Can you guys see?
Yeah, there it
There
is.
it is.
Okay.
There it is.
All right.
Thank you.
So the one on the left is what the guys did, and again, I didn't give them any guidance as other than saying, here are the parts and pieces. They all need to fit in the box. And I mentioned that we'd probably go with Pelican, although there was other options. This is the one on the left is their design, and I want to kind of highlight the things that we really liked about it. Yes, we really liked the fact that the Motec was front and center. That's the new product that was front and center. The other parts on the side were good. I liked the arrangement of that, but what I really liked was the way that the modules were laid flat like that on the left-hand side. The German case doesn't do that. The German case slides them in so that the edges, you can see the edges. And so they slid in like that. The key point, though, is in addition to the Motec being front and center, those modules allow different interactions with the Motec. So they are also equally important, and having them face up reminded the customer as it was opened up that these modules go into the face of each one of these. I thought that was brilliant, and I really like that. We did have some issues with the fact that if you closed their case, everything that was at the surface was going to roll around a little bit. So we needed to sink it down a little bit. Here's kind of what happened. COVID took over. We were actually having a lot of good back and forth between myself and the guys. We went through Mr. Splutok. So he would send me a list of questions. I would answer them. He would translate those to the students. And we had a lot of back and forth until COVID hit. When COVID happened, of course, nobody knew what was going to happen at all. And the one on the left was what they had come up with just before the students were having to stay at home. And of course, everybody at Lenza was home-based and all of that. So the communication really dropped off, again, strictly for the COVID purpose. In the end, we ended up going with the final case design on the right. I would have liked to have given the guys a couple more rounds of design time. I imagine they would have come up with something similar to the right. Also, the point of the one on the right was the Pelican cases are really limited size-wise. So the only way that you could get all of that in the case, there's some limitations on the foam cutting, so you can't be too close. The modules are the minimum amount of distance apart. So according to the way Pelican cuts things. So you really couldn't have come up with a case that was any smaller. All of that said, the guys did a fantastic job. I do want to mention, I did ask them about branding the screwdrivers with Phillips. With Lenza, and Lenza, they did a lot of searching for. They couldn't find any. We actually, Lisa and I tried to find some, and we couldn't find any either, not for a price that was reasonable. So we ended up going at Lenza. We ended up going with just an American-made screwdriver, and I think at some point they'll find some sort of Phillips branded thing. All of that to say, I thought the guys really did a fantastic job. I really liked the interaction, the enthusiasm they had, the creativity of bringing all those things in the right spot, the front and center of the Motec, the highlight of the modules on the left-hand side. And so we took all of that and built a case. I would, as a final piece of this whole thing, remind Joe and Jeremy that first of all, as a project, you guys did fantastic. It's absolutely wonderful. From a learning experience, the big learning is things like COVID happen, change happens, and you need to be ready and prepared for whatever life throws at you. And that's in your own personal life, and it's in your professional life. So always be aware that change will happen, and it's how you react to that change that is the success. The change is going to happen whether you want it to or not. It's how you react to that. And I think you guys did a fantastic job. So anyway, you guys, awesome job. I love the Shark Tank idea. Craig and Jared and Rebecca, you guys, I was ready to buy. I mean, I was ready to buy from you guys. So thought it was great. Again, Mr. Smoot Talk, thank you for your time and your help with this whole thing. And then Mr. Rubin, I appreciate your passion and getting these guys involved. And I'm hoping that the partnership can continue between Blackstone Valley Education Foundation, Lenza, and Uxbridge High School. So good luck to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Floyd.
Thanks, Floyd.
Jeremy or Joe, do you have any questions for Mr. Spencer at all? You have his full and utmost attention. Or Mr. Smutak, anybody have any questions directly for Mr. Spencer?
Pretty well summed up.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You're welcome.
Do any of our guests who are with us joining today have any comments or questions before we move on to our last piece, which is a bit of a surprise? Okay. Well, then with that, I think I will go ahead and introduce Lisa Casso. Lisa is a passionate and creative trade show and event manager with 23 plus years of professional experience, utilizing knowledge of trade show planning and operation procedures to put together effective events. She's currently the marketing event specialist for Lenza Americas and works closely with our organization, with BVEF, to coordinate many of the project-based learning programs at Lenza.
Hi, thank you, Erica. So first, I'd like to thank everybody. I would like to thank Blackstone Valley and Uxbridge High School for having the opportunity to be able to do something like this. It's, outside of our normal working realm, and it adds a little bit of fun and excitement to our regular days of our work schedule. So I'd like to thank everybody for you guys allowing us to do something like this with all of you. Congratulations to Jeremy and Joe, a great job, and good luck at college. You guys will do great. And I'd then like to thank my team of all the Lenza people that participate in this, that take time out of their work days to plan and organize something like this. So thank you, everybody. So we have a little surprise for the boys, for Jeremy and for everybody, and Joe on the line. It was brought to our attention a little while back when we were planning this Shark Tank idea, and they had thought that the ask, we weren't talking about the money aspect of the Shark Tank game. And they had made an ask to their teachers that then was related to us here at Lenza. And two of the things that they had asked for was, and this was 100% their idea. The teachers made it known to us that this is something that they came up with on their own to ask Lenza. And they had asked for a sticker to be put on the case that gave them some credit for the design element of the case. And then they had asked if Lenza would be interested in setting up some kind of a scholarship. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. And show you what we did.
Lisa.
Is it up? Can you see it? Okay. So we did go ahead upon your request and design a sticker, and this is something Kim did. So this is Kim's design. We took the idea of what you wanted your sticker to say, and what we decided to do is, I know you had asked us to put UXHS on the sticker. We decided to spell it out for you, just so you know, because these cases are going to be distributed across the US. So someone in California might get one of these cases, and someone in New England might get one of these cases. So we wanted to make sure that the name of your high school was on the sticker. As you can see by the case in the upper right-hand corner here, we will put the sticker on all of the cases in the upper right-hand corner, giving the school credit. And finally, it has been approved that Lenza will award 2 $500 scholarships to be awarded to 2 students pursuing engineering at Uxbridge High School. There will be a small application process that all the people who will be in the engineering program or attending an engineering program in college next year can apply, and Lenza will award 2 of these scholarships. So it's a great idea for you guys to ask that. And, you know, sometimes we get what we ask for, sometimes we don't, but it never hurts to ask, because sometimes you actually can make a change. So great idea, guys, and thank you, and good luck in college.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Lisa. Boys, Jeremy and Joe, phenomenal job. I was super excited to be able to have Mason and Sam jump in so that we could kind of have, you know, double the learning in 2 different career paths. So that's phenomenal. Again, I want to thank you to everybody for their contributions and for their involvement and participation. I do think that this is where a lot of our traditional high schools want to go. They want these more authentic learning experiences for students. So we at BVEF are, this is you know, step 1, and we're going to continue to work together with our schools and businesses to see if we can continue to make this happen. Lenza, I can't thank you enough. I know that it's taken quite a bit of time, especially during the last few days, to kind of, you know, make sure all the details are in place. It's been amazing. So thank you to everybody. And I will say that, you know, this is part of what we're going to share next week with some of you. Will be participating in our Business and Education Forum, and we're going to highlight this whole experience. So thank you again to